Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, or madame, "truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door." But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token. The only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore?" "This," I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word,
"Lenore."
Merely this and nothing more. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore.
"'Tis the wind and nothing more."
On this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, could this be my lost Lenore? Tell me, I implore.
Quote the Raven.
"Nevermore."
I'm Wayne Thomas. Welcome to Cryptic Frequencies, a blog talk radio show dedicated to exploring the mysterious. My background includes 8 years as a paranormal investigator. I was coached from age 5 from my ghost hunting grandpa on how best to communicate with the dead. Grandpa Thomas taught me to keep an open mind about things I might not easily believe. Currently, I specialize in smudging and blessing for people who want it out, and they want it out now. My portfolio includes producer and host of Grand Rapids Ghost Hunters Paranormal Podcast out of WKTV Studios, 24 shows and counting. While Grandpa was a major motivator and mentor all my life, the inspiration behind this show is co-host / producer Mary Bassett.
Hi, I'm Mary of Across the Golden Veil of Spiritual Voices. I am a Reiki master, a psychic channeler, energy healer, and spiritual teacher. I've been on this journey for a little over 10 years, developing and meditating and growing. My favorite part of life is connecting with like-minded people and helping other people who are in search of answers. My biggest drive is to guide others into their spiritual awakening through spiritual healing and teaching over energy work by awakening your chakras. And I truly believe that together as a collective whole, we can change the world. I got into starting my radio station Across the Golden Veil to gather around paranormal groups and other spiritual groups that are like-minded so that we can spread the word and raise the vibration of the universe. So, Wayne, who is the special guest we have today?
Our special guest is founder and the driving force behind Lakeshore Paranormal, my friend, Darren Dykhouse.
Hello. Hi, I'm Darren Dykhouse of Lakeshore Paranormal. I'm an empath, and I started a YouTube channel about 2 years ago, and been running hard since. Go to different locations all over Michigan, trying to find answers why things are haunted, and also love helping people.
I bet it's been a learning process for you, and you had to adapt for each case.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been quite the experience. You know, the deeper I go, you know, the more curious I am about it, and just want to keep doing it.
I'm guessing you're getting better at it too, and you're learning these different devices that you use, which ones work, which ones don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned basically keeping it simple. I mean, for the most part, I just go in with a camera and spirit box, usually, or a digital recorder.
So your video blog on YouTube.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. I have a YouTube channel, Lakeshore Paranormal. I'm very close at hitting 1,700 subscribers. Still pretty new to the game, but, you know, takes time.
I've been with you when you've hit a couple of those milestones. Yeah.
That's
and
right.
Also, we share a lot of Facebook friends because I keep running into you, whether it's from Australia or United Kingdom or Canada, Ireland.
Yeah, I have
all
over.
around the world. Yeah, it was amazing how many. I mean, that's when I met Mary through Facebook. I saw you. I thought I saw you and maybe Ken, one of our friends, Ken, who's also a paranormal investigator, on her page.
Yeah.
We also have our co-host Ken here. How long have you guys known each other?
Hi. Let's see. Well, my name is Kim Kolean, and I first met Wayne back, what was it, 3-4 years ago, Wayne?
Right. Yeah, it's been a while now.
At a paranormal conference in Grand Haven that was put together by GRASPP, which is another paranormal investigative team out of Grand Haven, Michigan. And we knew each other, and I would say, about a year later, he called me up out of the blue and said, hey, I'm going to do this podcast. Would you like to be a co-host? And I'm like, absolutely. So we've known each other now for 3 years? 2-3 years?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, something like that. And then I met Darren and Mary. Yeah, I met Darren and Mary through just having them as a guest on the podcast that I help Wayne with as a co-host for Red Rapids Ghost Hunters. And for the last 3 years, I've now retired from it, but for the last 3 years, I've ran a nonprofit organization called Tulip City Ghostbusters that supports charity work in our own neighborhood, which I live in Holland, Michigan.
Yeah, you've become an expert in the mysterious being on Grand Rapids Ghost Hunters podcast.
Yeah, I have a couple years experience of actual paranormal investigating that I've done with a group out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. So I've kind of got my fingers in a lot of different things.
Yeah, we're all a little bit spooky in our own respects.
Exactly.
Darren was spooky enough to get on the show 3 times, and now he's the first guest on this. We got to revisit him whenever it comes up. He's the man in black.
That's awesome. Yep.
The man in black. Even your you gave me your email address. I told it to my wife. She goes, "Oh no."
Named after a band I listen to. Yep.
Oh,
it's a good band.
That was something, a character reference. I wasn't sure what Disturbed that would meant.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They keep getting more.
They are
more
a good
popular.
band. I remember seeing them with System of a Down.
Oh, awesome.
That's a good
wow!
group.
I'll have to check that out.
What kind of investigations have you done lately?
Well, haven't done a whole lot of big investigations. Although we did a local house recently, had some really dark energy there. That was quite the case. A lot of weird stuff going on in the basement. I think we found out there was a portal down there. We tried to close it off the best we could.
There was what? A portal?
A portal in the basement, like a spiritual portal.
Right.
You know, where spirits can come and go.
Were you getting some readings off that portal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were. Yeah, a lot of heavy energy. Yeah, we did. Yeah. That one's labeled Haunting Near the Lake on my channel. But the big ones this weekend is put on by GRASPP. I think Kim mentioned them. But we are going to the city, the SS City of Milwaukee up in Manistee this weekend and putting on a 3-day weekend kind of outing for a few other paranormal groups, and we were lucky enough to be able to stay in the ship all weekend.
Yeah, it's a Para-Unity Summit.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Bill and Connie Jones, our friends from GRASPP, are putting it on. It's to promote stronger unity, cooperation between teams, advancement of the paranormal research. but they want to get some kind of a hold on it so people are better at getting their evidence, and it's consistency, a unity in the industry. That's what they're shooting for.
That would be incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, Para Unity Summit. It's exciting.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it all winter. They pushed it back almost twice, I think, because of the whole, the COVID thing going on.
Right.
Quarantine. A lot of reports of eerie noises in the ship, apparitions. It's a retired car ferry. I'm not sure whether it's a museum now or just like, I don't know if they use it as like a bed and breakfast or not. Somebody told me that they were, but I'd have to find more about that.
They're also opening up the Coast Guard ship, Acacia.
Oh, Arcadia. Yep, I was going to say that. I just found that
Arcadia.
out the other day.
I missed a letter there.
Yep. They're opening up the Arcadia for us, too. So I'm really excited about that because I think I'm going to investigate one ship a night. Hopefully that goes well.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Get your money's worth out of that. And like you say, just meeting people. I mean, that's how this thing started. We all met through something like that, an event like that. But you also went to Bath recently. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you go to Bath?
Yeah, I did. Bath, Michigan. We did a few EP sessions there. That's on the channel, too. Bath was the site of the worst school massacre in U.S. history. And it happened in the, 1927. 1927.
May 18th is my wife's birthday.
Oh, wow.
I just told her that today. Yeah, they didn't make her day. Yeah, 38 grade school kids, 6 adults. And not even all the explosives blew up. It could have been worse.
Jeez.
I'm just wondering what what that was like for you to be there.
I could feel a lot of the energy. I could feel like the sadness, just a lot of loss. It was definitely a strong feeling in the air, at least for me.
I watched that YouTube video. I really enjoyed that one because my actual my great uncle was in that bombing. His name was Harold L. Woodman. My father was named after him, so I found that really intriguing that you did that.
Wow.
He died in
the
bombing?
plaque. Yep, he did. My grandpa, he ended up staying home sick from school that day, so he wasn't caught in the bombing, but my great uncle was.
Oh, wow. What a story. Yeah, and I think they have the Bath Cemetery and the Herman or the Henry gravestone. And then there's a plaque or a wall dedicated to all the deaths. Is that what Mary's talking about?
Yeah, they had a big or they had like bricks, I think, and they had a big old stone that had a plaque of everyone that died there.
Yeah, that's what I like about what you do is not everybody can go to these places. It's hard for me to drive long distances, and through your videos you can bring them to those places. You might not always see something that's paranormal. You may sense things. You may not get it on film. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah,
it's a hard thing to get an EVP.
It is. And it helps being an empath or psychic. You do feel the energy, but it's hard to place that on film. I sense a lot of it, but it's very rare to get solid evidence on camera. I've only captured 1 or 2 shadow figures on my entire channel so far.
Yeah, I saw one of those videos on the shadow when you were in the basement at a private
restaurant.
Yep. Yeah.
That was something.
And then you and I did a private case out of Holland, and you had a couple of different apps that you used there. I actually have a couple of those recorded. You can see what they sound like on the radio.
Yeah.
I'll give Mary a headache trying to edit this stuff. I know editing, you said, was the worst thing when it comes to doing what you do. Let me play a couple of these. So see if you can identify these apps that you use. So I don't know if you could hear either one of those.
No, not really.
Oh, couldn't you? Shoot. One of them is you asked what's your name.
Out.
Oh, and the other one said just Joanne, real plain. He asked what's your name, Joanne. Yeah, I was wondering how that would play on this.
Yeah, it's real echoey, but you get a lot of clear responses on that one. I think that was the Spiritus box, and then I use a Necrophonics app, both by a group called Chill Seekers, which they've been doing a lot of like the ITC work, which is just using electronic devices and letting the spirits manipulate them.
I've used Spirit Box. I like Spirit Box. Although I like just being quiet. I really think the quieter you are, the more you are apt to hear something.
I've noticed I got a lot more responses when I actually talk to the spirits because I feel like it almost gives them energy. I've had a lot of weird experiences where I'm talking, they almost like mimic my voice.
Right. Or say your name even.
Yep. I've heard my name called lots of times.
That's a little bit creepy.
Yeah,
that's why you're on the show. That's why you're on the show, Spooky.
Yep.
Is when you were growing up, did you get that a lot too? Is hearing spirit call your name?
You know, I had a lot of weird experiences growing up, but it's like I kind of ignored them for the longest time. And it almost took, believe it or not, living through a second house fire in order to open that up, and it was pretty traumatic. But after the second house fire I lived through, I became pretty spiritual after that.
Those kind of things tend to waken you up.
Yeah, traumatic events can open a person up if they've already had like kind of the abilities. And it's weird because I've always been fascinated by it. You know, I've always been drawn to the paranormal my whole life, even when I was younger. My sister would drive me around to like really crazy haunted locations. We never actually went into any of them, but you know, it always intrigued me.
Yeah, same here. It's there's nothing better than a good ghost story.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I know, Darren, you've been to a lot of places in Michigan. The old Allegheny County Jail Museum. We both have been to that location. Unica Cemetery, Stimson Hospital. What's one of your favorite places to go and visit?
Oh, man. I really love Van Buren Poorhouse. I've been there, I think, 3 times now, maybe twice.
The Poorhouse?
I have the Van Buren Poorhouse. I have a few videos up from it, and that place was in, Van Buren County. It was huge. It really was. And I think there was a fire in 1886 there, and it killed 14 people. So again, with the fire, that's another story I would kind of need to mention, that a lot of the bigger locations I've been to involved a fire somehow, and I've lived through 2 house fires, so I really can't explain that one quite yet, but not sure if there's any sort of meaning to it.
Some kind of significance there.
Yeah.
Your background, right?
Yeah, I know, because a lot of the times I don't even know. I mean, that one house I was at that you see the shadow figure in on my channel, I was in the attic and I noticed that there was some burn marks, and I said, "Did you have a house fire here?" She was like, "Yes, we did." I'm like, man, keep running into it.
I know this is a weird question, but in astrology, what sign are you?
I'm a Pisces, and I'm still trying to figure out. I know I think there's like the moon signs and stuff too. I need to find out my whole chart.
Yeah, so Pisces, I do believe, is a water sign, correct?
Yep, water sign, either a fish or a polar bear.
It definitely has spiritual meaning because fire and water don't mix. So for you, I would say that that's a spiritual lesson for you, that fire. It's your kind of like your arch enemy. So when you are investigating houses that are exactly a nemesis, so when you're investigating homes, they're your fire because there's a mystery that you need to solve to help somebody heal because you're an empath. And that all revolves around healing. So I would research that for yourself because it might not be true, but that's when I start to channel, that's what I get.
Wow. Interesting.
Oh, free reading by Mama Mary.
I just start to go off sometimes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You guys seem to do that. My buddy from Australia was giving everyone a reading, and he even had a tarot card reader reading him, and he was reading her back.
Wow.
That's the way it works. So you start to channel, and you can't stop it.
I've also started working with a new psychic. Well, actually, it's funny. She's new to the channel, but she's the first psychic medium to give me a reading probably about 2 years ago when I first started doing this, and it blew me away. And she even told me things that I never told anyone about my abilities and the experiences that I had, and it really blew me away. But working with her finally was amazing, and we went to a private investigation, and there was some really wild evidence that we got on camera of the lights flickering in the hallway. She ended up getting scratched, but I'm hoping to have that video out maybe the end of next week. It's a busy week for me this week.
Right, that'll be fun. Yeah. Mary has a cemetery out by her house. I don't know if I should give the secret away, but she says with Brandon, she's going to get Brandon and Ben Goldman from Afterlife Road. So you should probably try to buddy up with, both of those guys.
Yeah, I do.
No, we should. We should do it all together. I was telling them about it, about what we got last, because I think it was funny. It was a couple of days before you went to Bath, actually, and I had told Darren before we aired about hearing the dogs barking on the replay. We're out in the middle of nowhere. You can't hear. There's no dogs. And then when I was asking questions and I was going up to a new tombstone, a whole tree fell over. Freaked the kids out because they just wanted to go have fun.
No doubt.
And then I said, does someone want to talk or something? And they said Woodman. And my stepson that was with me, he's like, isn't your last name, your maiden name Woodman? I'm like, yeah. So there's so many different things you pick up. And that was just during the day for like 15 minutes. And I know of several people who have gone there at night and they won't go back. So
is it
it's a pretty
open
cool
at night? Is it okay to go there at night?
As far as I know it is, I could always double check, but the people who have talked about going, they've never had any issues.
Yeah. Usually you can get away with the ones in the middle of nowhere, but there's some around here that they really heavily patrol at night.
What's that, Kim?
Darren, did you get anything when you went to Beaver Dam?
Yeah, I got a few EVPs. I think I connected with a child. I remember hearing a little girl voice come through. So it's interesting.
What location?
Yeah. I went to a cemetery in Zeeland, Michigan. It's called Beaver Dam Cemetery. It was a small little farmer. I was in the area and I seen it, and I'm like, I'm going to stop.
Yeah, and coincidentally, my grandfather, who passed away in October, is buried there. And,
wow.
Darren didn't know that. And,
I didn't know that.
Right.
Him and I had no idea. And I said, oh, that's coincidental because we just buried my grandfather there, who I was extremely close to. And it's kind of funny that you ended up in that little tiny, tiny cemetery.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Might be synchronicity.
Yeah, it's one of those synchronicities. That happens a lot.
Right. It's weird. So the EVP that you caught, can you share what you heard?
Let me see here. Maybe not, because I have not uploaded the footage yet. I still have it sitting in my camera. No, I just realized that. I'm like, maybe I could pull it up on the PC, but I forgot to even upload them.
Okay.
Which
was there anything else from?
Beaver Dam Cemetery. And,
okay.
It was a farm, like almost a little tiny farm cemetery. It was overlooking a couple fields, and it was really beautiful. It was so beautiful.
It's very serene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very serene there. Mhm.
And the grass was green, and it was just it was weird because when I was there was a storm rolling just right over Zealand, and I'm like, wow, that was weird, because I was done. I finished recording, and then suddenly the storm's rolling in, and then like 6 cars pulled in, so I was wondering if they were there for somebody else, and I ended up leaving.
Okay.
It might be different for empath, but I tell people go to a museum if you want to see a ghost. So on the USS LST 393, that's a museum?
Yes, it was. And boy, oh boy, was that place active. Yeah.
And then that's out of Grand Haven, is it?
Muskegon, and that's where I'm from. That one I really enjoyed. We investigated that with GRASPP last October. I have about 3 of those videos on my channel. That one was absolutely incredible. One of the biggest locations I've been to so far.
Is that the one you did a lecture on? You did a short lecture on that one?
No.
Or not?
I don't think I did any lecture. Oh, no.
From Brandon's team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking. We did a lecture at the one of the library in town, and yeah, I remember.
You're right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that they had us talk about the hauntings at the library when like every single paranormal group in town want to investigate the library, but they're still kind of hesitant on it because that they don't really want people to know is it used to be the hospital or the insane asylum.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, some people don't want that reputation either of being haunted.
Yeah. There's a lot of history down here, downtown Muskegon.
So, Darren, quick question. Only because I went on like a little mini vacay. So you're going up to Manistee this weekend, correct? So have you ever been to Gravity Hill?
I've heard about
Arcadia.
it. Actually, I've been to Gravity Hill, or maybe I haven't. I'm trying to think. It was like, no, I don't think I've been to Gravity Hill. But
well, you'll have
I'm
to
excited.
just take a few minutes to do it. I made the kids go this last weekend, and they rolled their eyes at me the whole time. But they stopped rolling their eyes at me when you put it in neutral, and it literally pulls you up the hill.
Really? Oh, wow.
So they got a kick out of that. And I think we made it up to like 18 miles per hour. So it's pretty fun. More than likely, it's just an optical illusion. I think I researched it, and it is an optical illusion, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, they say something similar happens at the Lake Forest Cemetery here over in Grand Haven, and they say if you put your car somewhere in the middle of the cemetery on the road, it almost like rolls. Your car will roll right up the hill, which I feel like is more. It's in the middle of like sand dunes and stuff, so I mean, it kind of. You never know how uneven the terrain is. So, I mean, it feels like you're going downhill. You could be going uphill.
Yeah, I'm not pretty sure that's what it is, but it's just fun.
Yeah.
There's nobody who has, some kind of fun in their soul that won't giggle when it starts to happen. So.
Yeah, I saw some of that on Facebook. Mary, I'm wondering if you can explain your radio station a little bit more in depth, all the different people that you bringing on board there, because I believe your friend Kristen Roberts you have a show with her.
And then with Sarah and I, we have the Paranormal XL, and so that's kind of her baby. And then, I got bored and I needed to do something, so I created the radio station. And it was actually your fault, Wayne, because I think you were asking me about chakras, and I started channeling information about the coronavirus and the spiritual awakening that as a collective whole we're going through, and the next stages of the 7 years. But that's a whole different podcast. And the week before, like I had said, I was trying to record with Kristen, but it wouldn't work. And so as a spiritualist, I always see it as the universe is trying to send me a message. And so when I was channeling for you, like the light bulb went off about, okay, so I'm doing it the wrong way. Create a radio station. I don't know where I come up with the ideas, but that's where it came from. And so it's all your fault. And then I pulled in just a bunch of different podcasts. You helped me with some of them, and it's just a paranormal community where you can put your podcast and people will listen. And just like, Darren, if you want to put yours on there, I take the YouTube videos themselves and convert them, and I put them on the radio station so people can hear the investigation. Something a little bit different.
Oh, wow.
Because there's nothing like that on internet radio, where it's just paranormal and spiritual. It's just bringing about, all about just bringing people together and raising that vibration and feeding people's souls, because there's so much more out there than just what meets the eye.
Yeah, there is.
It's para unity in action. It's Chatan Noir you have on there. Don't you have Ben Goldman in Afterlife Road, some of their stuff?
Yes, I love their stuff.
Yeah, Ben's amazing. We did we investigated the Stimson Hospital together. That was really fun. I always enjoy going there. The owners of the Stimson Hospital are very friendly and are very into the paranormal. The main owner, I think it's Christopher. I think he's a tech guy, so he probably knows more about your own equipment than you do.
Oh, wow. That helps.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely.
No, I know my friend Kristen Roberts, psychic medium. She's investigated there quite a few times, and she talks about the doctor that's there, that he does not like women. She's had more than her fair share of experiences at that hospital.
Being pinched?
More than that, but she said towards the end, she's been in there more than a couple of times because she used to live in that area. She's like, in the end, her and the doctor, they made like a pact, so to speak, where he stopped doing mean things. But he doesn't like women.
Yeah.
Wow. I had something thrown at me in the morgue.
We were at Nick Finks.
It wasn't a scalpel, was it?
Yeah.
Sounded like a little pebble.
At Nick Finks, one of the girl investigators got groped there before. That's got a reputation for being Al Capone and, speakeasy days. Goes way back 130 years.
Wow.
But I like that the Allegan County Jail, you're talking about being helpful, that the guy there was like so helpful in the way he showed it around.
Incredible.
And explained. Oh, yeah. And, I mean, we paid to stay there, but it's a museum. You can go there for free if you want during the day, but we paid to be there, 3 hours in the middle of the night. And then Brandon, if Brandon was talking with us, he'd tell you he got groped there, too. He had an experience down in one of the cells. Yeah. And, there was some really bad graffiti, and it was just some bad feelings. All of a sudden he felt like he was having a heart attack at one point. So, yeah, it was quite an experience for him.
Yeah, I've been waiting for I was going to go back there this spring, and, of course, the COVID stuff kind of put a damper in that. So hopefully I can get back in there sometime this summer.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing about knocked the wind right out of me. And then Mary's the one that said, you can't. She was reading into me, and she goes, you can't be giving it up. And I'm like, it would be a good time to do it, I guess. The show hasn't gone anywhere. We've canceled more shows than we've done this year. We've canceled 6 after doing 5 this year for the Grand Rapids Ghost Hunters. So I know I was feeling down, and she got me up, and I was breathing in satisfaction, breathing out gratitude.
No, when you text me, I could feel you, and I was like, oh, no, don't give up. I just, I think Kim felt some of that, too. You can feel other people.
Yeah, I miss you guys so much, I miss that camaraderie that we have.
Right.
When we are all sitting in the studio together, I miss that camaraderie, because it's like we feed off from each other. And it's just like a good dynamic.
Our last show was the Bigfoot. I didn't know there were so many Sasquatch fans out there until we did the Bigfoot show, and we hit our all-time high in views, 2.3K.
Really?
Yeah. And I have to do a
cow.
shout-out to the Upper Peninsula Bigfoot / Sasquatch Research Organization, in particular Rich Meyer. After we did the Sasquatch show, we got in contact with him, and he ended up sending me a T-shirt. And back when all this was going on, he couldn't even get to the right post office because of the virus, but he sent me a T-shirt.
Wow.
And so maybe we can have him on this show, seeing all he has to do is call us. But Rich Meyer from Upper Peninsula Bigfoot Sasquatch. Well, shout out, salute. We can't bring everything back from the other show, but maybe we could do a final thought kind of thing. I don't know how close we are to final thought. I think we're a ways away from that. But I wanted to make sure that the important information was what's going to happen. I know you're doing the thing this weekend. Is there anything else that you've got in your forecast, Darren, that you're going to be looking into?
Yeah. Late June, we got Joliet, Illinois prison, and it is very exciting for me because it'll be the first big location out of state for my channel. So really looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
that's the same prison. That's the same prison they filmed Prison Break TV series at. But some bigger crews like Ghost Adventures and other people have been there, got some really great evidence. John Wayne Gacy, I think, died there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he was kept there for a while, too.
You can't imagine the residual energy that those walls have absorbed.
A lot of crazy energy there.
Yeah. I'll be looking forward to that video.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be something. Yeah, other than that, I think I'm pretty much not booked anything yet because I wasn't sure how the whole COVID thing is going to go, and who knows. And I have immune problems, so I have to be careful. But I'm kind of convinced so. I already had something of the sorts, but, I think that was back in February. I'm not sure
I remember when you were sick.
Yeah, and it was really bad, too. And it was, all the symptoms I had are basically matched up with the symptoms of the COVID, which is weird. But, I'm not going to get into my thoughts about it, but, that's a story for another day.
I was wondering how it was affecting you, like I say, being an empath. And so I've got a hypothetical situation for all of us to think about, and this would be like maybe we can get all our thoughts in on this. Is Ground Zero, New York City, 3,000, almost 3,000 people died.
I thought about it. I've actually thought about that. I would love to do a spirit box session, maybe, do a prayer and help some of the spirits along.
Yeah, you might be able to do some help there. I had an accident right outside my house a few months back where the lady died. And being in the business that I'm in, I went out there with sage and, did my prayers and stuff. And just in case that spirit was still hung out, because that's the kind of thing, that instant death like that people can get trapped here. And so I wanted to make sure that her spirit wasn't staying right outside my house here. But yeah, let's get everybody weighing in on. You're at Ground Zero, New York.
I really think there's a lot of residual energy there, or lost souls, as you will.
Kim, what are your thoughts on that?
About New York in particular?
Ground Zero, where all the people died there.
Yeah.
9/11, 2001.
Yeah. My heart goes out to specifically the elderly who at one point in time, weren't they taking some of the elderly patients with COVID and putting them back in the nursing home or something like that? And if I was a family member of somebody who was in a nursing home suffering from COVID, you can't visit them, you can't see them, you can't comfort them. And I feel, if those people died, not having their family members surrounding them, could there be some leftover energy that's hanging around possibly nursing homes or hospitals?
Yeah, you're on a whole different subject, but yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. There's so many people that passed away from this actually who were in nursing homes. Not everybody that passed was in hospitals per se. And, are some of those souls out there still trying to reach out to family members to say their final goodbyes?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Just saying goodbye. I mean, that's why reason a lot of ghosts come back. They just want to say goodbye or leave one last message.
Yeah.
Mary, are you still with us? Your thoughts on these subjects?
I am. No, the whole thing is, it's heartbreaking, especially when you're watching the news and you're watching them pull up semis and load bodies I kind of feel like New York is kind of one big portal. Sometimes you have, ley lines or energy vortexes that you go to, and you're just naturally drawn to it because of all the extra energy and the spiritual energy because of the portals that are there, even though you don't realize it. And sometimes I feel like you were saying with, 9/11 and all the other things that have happened there, it kind of just draws that energy, almost like it's its own, like, Bermuda Triangle. And, the COVID hit there before they could even blink twice and do anything about it.
Right. The city seems to have its own energy, and that's not always a good energy, I guess.
No, there's too much that's been built up there. I mean, just watch Ghostbusters. I'm just saying.
Oh,
I was
was that in New York?
About that when you said ley lines.
Which Ghostbusters?
It's all about the ley lines.
The new one.
Oh,
the girls.
I love those. I love all of those, of course.
No, ley lines they're definitely a thing. It's just a different episode.
I believe that. I believe, yep. I believe in those. And I also believe in, like, I'm not sure, but I think my house lays on something because a lot of weird stuff happens here. I've done investigations out back behind my house here, and I've gotten results. From what I know, there is, was a Native American tribe around this area. And I know that they're not happy with the buildings and stuff around here.
Yeah, and if that's the case,
Michigan
you probably
has that.
have, like, a keeper of the land who protects that land in specific if it's Native American. But there are ways that you can surge that energy around your home versus through your home. So if you're ever interested, I can tell you how to do that. But there are ways where you can take that energy and send it around your house so that it doesn't happen in your home. Because you can't help the land; it belongs to Earth. But you can protect your home.
That's one thing about Michigan and the Native American Indians, and I think there's some restless spirits still there.
There
it's
are
hard to communicate
everywhere.
With someone. They don't even speak English.
And they don't like white people.
I was actually on an investigation one time, and we were doing a spirit box session, and we were with somebody who knew a little bit of, could make out that it was a Native American language coming through the spirit box, like Ojibwa or something like that. We were actually with somebody who was of Native American descent, and we had conversations with somebody who was speaking a Native American language. And that was in West Michigan here.
Wow.
Yeah, if you can get bilingual members, that helps, because I think we ran into maybe some Spanish words before. What it sounded like, none of us spoke Spanish, but it'd be good to have somebody like that on your team.
I get a lot of French, which I was wondering why that would be, and apparently, I guess, there was some French settlers in the area.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're over there by Lake Michigan, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking your area was heavy populated. The industry, the wood for a long time over there on the Lakeshore. A lot of that was the wood industry, lumber industry.
Mm-hmm. Lumber.
There were some seedy areas, too, over there, from what I understand. It's like a lot of those places burnt to the ground. Talking about fire, a lot of those places burnt to the ground.
Yeah,
because they had piles of sawdust.
Because I investigated one of the theaters here in town, and unfortunately I had to take that video down, but there was a fire in that theater. It was right down on Lakeshore Drive in Muskegon. That burned down in the 1920s. The whole area caught fire.
Unruly Brewing Company. Isn't that right there in your town?
Yep.
And that you could see where the timbers were charred from when that was on fire. They thought somebody died, but we researched it, and we could not find anything on a death in that building. A lot of people died in fires, some really tragic ones in Muskegon, but could not find anything specific on that Unruly Brewing Company. I had a ghost swear at me there. I was banging on because what I thought they were doing is they were responding. Oh, yeah. I had live people and dead people cussing me out. I was banging on the ductwork because I thought they were responding to noise that early in the morning, and that was attracting them. Well, yeah, they called me a son of a something, I'm sure. And it was pretty plain, too. Yeah, it wasn't over any device. It was just recorded. It was one of those good EVPs.
I've gotten a few swear words myself.
Yeah,
oh,
I don't know
yeah,
about you
or
guys,
get out.
It always seems like the ladies always get, kind of cussed out. A lot of times
That's why I like having women.
I'll be on an investigation.
Gotta have
the
women on
ladies
the
are
team.
always the target.
They are. I know. You got to have some women on the team so you have bait. Ghost bait.
Yeah. Terrible. They're always going to go for the B word, too.
Yeah, good point, Kim. I know Kim. She's been on some cases. She's a ghostbuster and a ghost hunter.
That's right.
The only person I knew that had Slimer on their Jeep.
Yeah, I know.
No more slime, huh?
No, I'm all slimed out.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I know.
Now, I'm reading a couple books right now, and I think, Darren, you might have ran into this from what I saw on Facebook lately. This author, she's from Granville, so she's a local author, and one of her books here is Escaping the Cauldron. It's Christine McGuire. And if I'm reading this right, she thinks that there's angels and there's demons, and there's like nothing in between. And I'm thinking maybe I ran into some of that lately where people are thinking everything you're dealing with is dark.
Yeah, I've heard that theory, and everyone has their own beliefs and stuff, but I don't believe in that. I've talked to too many spirits that are friendly, and I've talked to some that are negative. So I mean, it's I guess it's a perspective. And I also believe that there's not as demons aren't as common as one would think. You see on some of these shows that everything's evil and everything's a demon, and it's just a lot of entertainment, really. And I've run into my fair share of negative energy, but I wouldn't go as far as calling it demonic.
Right. Not everything that goes bump in the night is a ghost.
Yep.
Sometimes the client doesn't want to hear that. It's because the alternative is, well, maybe I am a little bit paranoid. I live in an old house and it's creaking all night long. I think it's haunted. But maybe it's an old house. Yeah, they don't want to hear that necessarily. If you don't come up with any proof for them.
Some people just like the drama, so they're hoping that you find something.
Some people want to communicate with their lost relatives also, and they try to hang on to them. I don't think that's necessarily good. I think you need to part your ways with the dead and let go of them and let them move on.
Oh, yeah, because they'll always come back through. It's just when the timing's right.
Well,
all right.
Anybody got a hot topic that they want to discuss before we sign off?
Well, all I can say is if you're on YouTube, look up Lakeshore Paranormal. I'm also on Twitter under Lakeshore Para N1. And if you're on YouTube, definitely subscribe and follow, because I'm always posting something, some sort of case I've gone to or location or, I'm always on the go, always filming, always posting. It's been quite the ride so far.
Right. And don't forget, let's mention again the summit that's coming up this weekend.
Yes. This weekend I'm going to be at the SS City of Milwaukee. It was an old car ferry from 1930s. It's parked there in a harbor. We're also getting access to the United States Coast Guard ship Arcadia. We have access to both of those all weekend, and I'm really excited to be filming there.
So is that June 5th, 6th, and 7th?
Yep.
It's Bill and Connie Jones from GRASPP putting this on. There's going to be some guest speakers. Yeah, so go out there, check that out for all means. And then, Mary, I think you need to explain how the people got here, actually, because it seems like they wandered across the Golden Veil, and they were listening to Spirit Voices podcast, and then they tuned in to cryptic frequencies. Is that?
That's right.
And there's more to it, I really think, because you do the astrology podcast also. So tell them where they can find you and how they can find us, will you?
Well, they can go to www.acrossthegoldenveil.com, and that's how you can tune right into the radio station, which streams tons of different podcasts. But you can also go to the Facebook page, Across the Golden Veil, where we share all the podcasts and share special information and rituals that you can do that help you heal and to grow. And then you can find me on my Spiritual Voices podcast page and message me through there. And those are the 3 different ways.
Right. So they can check out Grand Rapids Ghost Hunters by going to which one of those things?
To Across the Golden Veil Facebook page, but I also share all of those on the Spiritual Voices as well.
Okay. Yeah, so I really like that you were going forward when the rest of the world was on pause. Darren kept going forward. I talked to Kim on the phone. She's all happy.
Yeah.
The family's out fishing,
Yeah.
and she's moving forward and living life. So it's because of friends like you, I've stumbled forward.
I have to share I'll end my final thought with this cute little story. We're adopting a new dog, a new puppy. And when we were trying to decide what puppy we wanted, it was like our 2 favorite, just based on a picture. We had our idea of what we wanted. And I said to Mary, which one of these puppies do you like? And she said, I like this one named Robin. And we're like, no, I don't think we're going to get him. Guess what puppy we got? That dog that Mary picked out.
Nice.
Tell me, how in the world how did Mary know we were going to get that dog? And he wasn't even on our radar. If that doesn't
just a gut
spook you out, I don't know what will.
Wow.
I'm like, I choose Robin. And you're like, no, we're not choosing Robin. I'm like, okay.
No, we're not getting Robin. And then I look back at our notes with Mary and I's conversation, and she said, yeah, I like Robin. And I actually didn't remember that, and she reminded me. And when I told her what dog we picked out, I said, we picked out Robin. She goes, I know. I predicted that. I'm like, these psychics, I don't know about all this. I'll tell you, she's good. She's good.
We're going to have to do a Twilight Zone intro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, after that. Well, Darren, thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate you
no
talking
problem.
with us. We'll see you soon, I hope. We'll have
all
you
right,
back
yep.
Yeah, we'll have you back here if you got more stuff to report. Maybe
Definitely.
afterwards. Yeah, we can. Or turn this on to some more of your spooky friends. We appreciate that. So people are out there listening, think that you have a quality. You think you got a spooky quality to you. Get a hold of Mary through her Facebook and we'll get you on the show.
Yeah.
I got a quote to leave us with. If everybody's ready, the quieter we become, the more we hear. So I haven't heard a word you said, but I'm going to listen back to it on the when it's out. So thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.